Welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. I'm in the car. I've just started it up. I've just set the camera running. And I'm at Affinity at the minute. And I've just been to do a video. I've done a food review and I've done a video at Affinity. So I thought, bearing in mind I'm going all the way down to Blackpool South Shore, that I would do a film of the journey from Affinity up to the lights at Red Bank Road, because that's the bit that we didn't do the other day when I did that video for you last week. So don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell for notifications, and we'll go on a magical mystery tour. So this is the car park. I'll take you around the front of the entrance, and then for completeness you can see what I see. So there's plenty of free parking. There are 50 odd shops. There's public toilets. There's washing machines. Plenty of cafes. It's dog friendly. There's everything that you could ever possibly want. And that's the start of our journey. So this main road that's parallel to us at the moment is the A585 coming into Fleetwood. I had to think where I were then. It's the A585 coming into Fleetwood. So if you come from the M55 motorway and you want to come what I call the quick way, you need to come straight down the 585 and it will bring you to this big roundabout, which is right at the door. Home parking's on your right hand side. There's a McDonald's, Asda on the left, and petrol, which I could do with filling up actually, but I haven't got time. I've got an appointment, so I need to get a move on. I've just realised I'd not picked my microphone up, so apologies if that first little bit didn't sound very clear, but I've clipped it on now, so I might all of a sudden go very loud. So this is all built on the site of the former dock, and I'm going to take you, so you could go left here, which is a quicker way, but I'm going to take you the scenic way. I'm going to take you right. So we're going to go around the roundabout like a teddy bear. So Fleetwood Town Centre is parallel to the road that we're driving on now, and you can get to it down any of the side streets. So that first one that we could have turned off at the roundabout, that takes you to Fisherman's Walk tram stop, and obviously we're not going to the tram stop because we're in the car today. So that's Asda, and then there's all kinds of different businesses along the seafront. This is Dock Street that we're on at the minute. And then the high street is literally just down any of these side streets and parallel to Dock Street. And the tramway runs down the middle of the high street. So this is all quite old and historic land. On the right hand side here is where the railway sidings were. Fairhaven. Oh, what's it called? It's gone. The word's gone. That building on the left hand side there, which is really, really pretty building. It's a really pretty building. The museum is on your left here. This used to be the customs house. And then on the right hand side is where the original railway station was. So people would have come into Fleetwood by train. The train stopped at Fleetwood. And then if you wanted to go any further north up to the Lake District or anywhere like that, you needed to go by ferry. So you would need to stop here and then catch a ferry on to wherever you wanted to go, which is why we've got the North Euston Hotel, which is on the left hand side. because people used to stop there when they set off from London at the Euston, and then they got to the North Euston, which is in Fleetwood. I'm just going to clean the window because it's a bit mucky. That's better. Not much of a view today. I can just see the power station at Heysham, but on a clear day it's a fabulous view straight across the bottom of Morecambe Bay. This is the lower light. There's another one just sort of slightly behind us that pairs up with it, and when they're both lined up you can get safe passage down the channel of the River Wyre into the dock. It's quite a treacherous place, it is. There's a few hotels on here. There's not really a lot of hotel accommodation in Fleetwood. I would imagine there's quite a few Airbnbs and whatnot if you look. This is the Mount on the left, which is the spot where the town's founder stood to mark out the pattern of streets, and that's the Marine Hall on the right. This is the Mount pub straight in front of us, and that had a really serious fire a few years ago. It's quite a good few years. So it's been covered in a tarpaulin tent, and they've repaired all the roof from underneath. So obviously now they need to work their way down the building and continue restoring it. I'm so glad that they didn't demolish it though, because it's a lovely building. And then this is Fleetwood Outer Promenade. Outer Promenade in a promenade. There's a footpath right next to the water and the beach. This is the Boating Lake on the right hand side. That little orange thing is a lifeboat used by Blackpool and the Fylde College nautical students to learn how to use lifeboats on ships. And this is the little model yacht pond. So the road we're coming up to at the left is Beach Road, and that takes you, we're going right round the outer edge of the peninsula. I thought he looked like it were going right round. Unusual. We're going right round the outer edge of the peninsula of land. So basically you could cut left down any of these roads and cut a big corner off, but this is more interesting this way. Right hand side is where the beach management works compound was sited, which is now fully restored back to a grass field. The work is complete, everything's done on the beach, and apart from it providing stability to the sand, you won't know anything had happened now. And at the back of this hedge on the right hand side is Fleetwood Golf Course. So that's quite a big site. And it's a proper original links course that you would get next to a marine environment. This is the clubhouse that we're coming up to. This is all residential along Fleetwood Seafront. And it's a very bumper. It's obviously all built on sand, and it's obviously all dropped and moved over the years, and there's quite a few potholes as well. In fact, there's quite a few big potholes. So this is the end of Chatsworth Avenue, and you're coming up to the fairly recently completed Larcombe Coastal Defence Project. So there is a little, what they call a meandering swale, that runs along the middle of this section of grass, which catches any overflow water or rainwater. The seawall is as high as the one that it replaced, but it just looks a lot less ugly because the ground has all been landscaped up to it. So you've lost that Berlin Wall look that you used to get before. I thought you were cutting grass then. It's a pram. In fact, I think it's a dog pram. So there's a footpath where that person's walking, and there's 2 or 3 little ponds. It's a really nice environment. There are videos on our channel. If you just look for Larcombe grasslands, you'll find them. Can you see how we're all going all over wibble wobble? Wibble wobble wobble wobble. So the seawall on the other side is really high. It's got a rock revetment at the bottom to take a lot of energy out of the waves. There's a central, what they call a berm, which is a spacer. It's not actually an official prom, but you can walk on it. It's just cast concrete. And then there's a stepped section similar to Cleveleys, and then top promenade, which is wide and provides the last line of defence. So on your left here is where the old Fleetwood hospital was. It was a fever hospital originally, and on the right hand side is Rossall School. This was also part of the NHS on the left. It's a care home now. So as we come round Westway, which is the road we're on, we come right round the edge of the peninsula and back onto the main road, and we're not a million miles away from being parallel to the tramway. So we're going to turn right and then right again, and that takes us, if we could see properly for the RSS man, and that takes us back onto the main road, back to Cleveleys. There's a tram there, look. I don't think you can see it for that car. Oh, the traffic lights are out, which probably means that the junction will flow really easily and everybody will be able to just drive. So these few houses on the left hand side are in a bit of an island between the main road, this is Broadway, and the tramway. So if you go on the tram to Fleetwood, you'll carry straight on down there and cut a big corner off. I'm going to go straight through. We'll go and navigate all of the traffic lights in Cleveleys. That was Rossall School we've just passed. This field on the left hand side is part of a farm, so it's used for grazing and horses and various things. And this is, at this time of year, a big gathering place for geese. In fact, I can see a flock of them flying over. So they use it as a feeding ground, and they migrate all the way from the Arctic Circle to Cleveleys, and they come honking over the sea, and then they feed on there during the daytime. And then apparently at night they go around to Pilling Marshes to sleep, and then they come back to these fields in the daytime to feed. I love to hear the geese and see them flying overhead. So that's the Russell Beach tram stop. And any minute now we are at the end of Thornton Gate. Oh, it's not a tortoise, it's a man carrying a sofa on his roof. So we are now in Cleveleys. Welcome to Cleveleys. This junction on your right hand side is Thornton Gate. And this on the left is my tram stop. So when I'm catching the tram and I'm talking to you from Thornton Gate tram stop, that is it. Oh, Mexican standoff. Everybody's sat looking at one another. There's loads of little pockets of shops on the main roads all along the Fylde coast really. So Kevin often comes to this electrician's here for his wires and his bits and bobs and whatnot. There's another little patch of properties just a bit further up. The church is closed and looks like it's sold. It's been empty a long time. This is St Andrew's Church on the right hand side. Sadly, they had a really big tree next to the front gate, and I think it had some storm damage. I think it had fractured and they had to have it cut down, which is a shame. They're a beautiful tree and it's left a gap. So right here is Roughly Road and the main car parks, and this is Cleveleys Shopping Centre. That's the tram stop. We're going to go straight through on the way to our appointment. It's a busy junction, this. So we've got two new pubs coming in Cleveleys. We've got the Greedy Banker on the right hand side, on that side. And we've got a new one coming on that side, but I don't think he's decided what he's going to call that one yet. So they're both ex-banks. So the one on the right is the HSBC, as was, and the one on the left is NatWest, as was. So the one on the left has been taken by the guy that's got Backstage in the Waterloo. So I have no doubt that will be a huge success. And the Greedy Banker is a project from a consortium of 4 or 5 local businessmen. So we wish them very good luck, and I'm sure we shall be going and having a nosy and looking to see what they're doing and how they're going along. And away we go. So the bus is going to be stopping at the left hand side. Oh no, he's not, he's turning round the corner. He's turning round the corner. This is a main bus stop. So there's often a couple of buses parked here. And this is the the great metropolis of Cleveleys. Riding Hotel on your left. We've got an overnight stay for 2 as a prize in our Christmas raffle. Tickets are on sale in the Care for Cleveleys shop, and you can get them on our Ko-fi page as well. So that's a nice prize for somebody. I was talking to a relatively new volunteer the other day at Care for Cleveleys. And she said she's only been in Cleveleys 8 months, and she said she'd been to the Briardine. So I just kept quiet and let her talk. I like to know what people think. And she said that she is a stickler for customer service, and they'd absolutely nailed it. She said it was just such a good experience. The food was lovely. The staff were really friendly and really attentive and helpful. The place was lovely. She said she just absolutely couldn't fault it. I said, oh, that's really interesting to know. I said, because I'll tell them, I'll pass the message on. So this yellow van parked straight in front of us, I would say, is a traffic van. It is. And I got done on this very road. It was parked on the other side, I have to say, on this side. We'd not been here very long. When would it have been? And you come through the lights, and because you're coming up a hill, you naturally accelerate. If you've stopped at the traffic lights to come away from the junction, you naturally accelerate to get up the hill. So I accelerated to get up the hill, and I was doing 34 miles an hour, and I got a ticket. I went on that speed awareness course that they do. Can't say I particularly learned much, but I suppose it's a useful reminder when you're as long in the tooth as I am, and it's such a long time since you took your driving test. I don't think people speed now anywhere near like they used to do. They certainly don't round here anyway. But there's loads of speed cameras around here and loads of mobile vans. So if you're coming on holiday, best to stick to the speed limit, which I must say I do, generally. And that just about brings us to the previous video that we did of driving along the seafront. I have tried every which way to get the main Central Promenade one off the GoPro, and just about lost the will to live. And eventually Kevin realised that the GoPro had gone hysterical, and it had dated the film I took a fortnight ago as 2016. So I'd actually downloaded onto my camera, and I wasn't actually going round the twist, but I was convinced it had not. I couldn't get it off, and I couldn't get it from the GoPro to my phone. Technology. So that brings us to where we started the last one. So I hope you've enjoyed that. One day we'll do the last bit. We'll go from the Pleasure Beach down to St Anne's and right down to the bottom end of the Fylde coast. So until next time, I will see you later. Bye for now.